Rick Robinson here from the American Library Association 2025 edition Zoom. We are zooming into books. Zoom into Books is, of course, the premier author website interviews. You can get it all right there on Zoom into Books. Go online and find it. And when you go there, you're going to find not only a lot of interviews, but you're going to find here in the city of brotherly love, we have found two sisters who have written a wonderful book. We got Sofie Wells and Allie Barclay, who have written Charlie Wags, the tale of Charlie Wags. I take it a pup that finds himself in the big city of the Big Apple, right?
That's it. You don't even need us here. So
Yeah.
Charlie Wags is actually modeled off of Sophia's dog, Charlie Wags.
Yeah, I was going to say, okay, so what's the, there's got to be a dog in here. Somebody,
There's a
who's the dog lover?
Both of us.
Both of us.
But Charlie Wags, her dog, has the most glorious tail wag we've ever seen in our life. And we thought to ourselves, you know, that tail could probably transport him all around the world if you put a little bit of love into it. And so that's the whole premise of our series. Charlie is an ordinary pup with one extraordinary trick. Gives his tail a wag, transports him all over the world. We debuted with New York City in January of 2025 this year, and then London and Paris have come out over the past 6 months, and we have 5 books in the pipeline for the next year to join Charlie, all over the world.
So Charlie's going. Does Charlie like to go outside and wander around and kind of do different things? Give me a little bit of. I'm from a dog family. I mean,
Yeah,
we're big on dogs.
He is your typical dog. He loves playing fetch, but the most important thing in his life, I would say, is food. So you're always going to find Charlie in the kitchen. He's scavenging for food. But this Charlie, he's got his own little pack, and he likes to go travel and introduce kids to different places and introduce them to landmarks.
So what does Charlie like to do when he's out on the ride? I mean, when you go to New York City, is he looking for the right dog hydrant somewhere on Times Square?
Right.
Or is he like going down Broadway and figuring out what play he wants to
He's
see?
pretty sophisticated for a dog. So he visits all the major landmarks and really wants to share his travels with kids that might not have the opportunity to see these places for themselves right now. And so he'll go and visit the top landmarks, give kids a little conversational understanding of these places. And of course he does, because he's a dog, he always stops for a little local treat. So in New York he'll grab some pizza and hot dogs, and in London he might have some afternoon tea with some pup friends. And just really trying to give kids a high level view of these places.
So when he goes to Paris, does he talk like a Frenchman? Does he go, my brother, les bars?
Right. We haven't gotten to the audiobooks yet, but that might be a detail that.
I do voiceovers, so if you're looking for Charlie, we could work that.
Yes,
you know my publisher. So I love this series because I can, despite all the gray hair, despite that I could be your grandfathers and not only your father, your grandfathers. I still remember as a kid thinking about, I wonder what New York is like. I wonder what Paris is like. I wonder, the big cities that you would read about, or you would, have to do a book report on.
Yes.
When I was in school, and suddenly now you're bringing this to children at such a great age.
Yeah, and that's the crux of it. We come from a family of immigrants. Our dad was born and raised in Argentina. Our mom, her whole family comes from Greece. And so we felt like we had a really unique upbringing where these cultures were brought into our houses, and we were actually able to go visit our families in these places at really young ages. Not a lot of kids have those same experiences, and I think that we just realized early on our parents really believed in the educational value of traveling. It's expensive and it's not easy to do, but they always saved up to take us with them when they would travel. And as we became parents, we realized that most kids don't have those same opportunities. And so we wanted to just bring the world to the reader who, might be from New York or might be going there, or maybe they just don't have the chance to see those places for themselves, at least right now. And if we can spark curiosity, if we can make curiosity accessible to kids at a really young age, then who knows what it introduces to them down the line. And so just really kind of trying to introduce kids to the world that's out there, and very much
We have the same thing for people with gray hair. It's called Viking Cruises.
Yes,
But,
exactly.
now you. Thank you. Thank you
bit
for
more
thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for
idea.
thank you for laughing at the dad jokes. Not every author laughs at my jokes, so it goes a lot better when you laugh at my jokes. You do, but you got one unique thing here, and I've not heard this from any other author, and this is wonderful. For every book that is purchased, you give one away.
We do.
Now, okay, not exactly the scheme you go into to build a business,
Right.
but tell me about that. Why are you doing that?
You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So the idea all started, I was actually taking my daughter to her just 3-month well visit, and we're lucky enough to live in the Philadelphia area, so she goes to CHOP primary care. And I'm in the car and I'm thinking how lucky I am to have a healthy, beautiful daughter. And then I thought about CHOP, and CHOP is the best hospital, but they see the worst cases and they deal with such tragedy. And I texted my sister and I said, hey, like, what if we donated a book? I know it's not, it's small, but if we can donate a book and maybe bring a little adventure, a little fun, a memory for the family.
Hey, goodwill and things like that type of stuff is build one book at a time. It's not something small; it's something huge.
Yeah,
You're giving away you're giving away your product. You're giving away your creative talent to better somebody else's life. I mean, one at a time. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, and we really, we made these books for so many kids in mind, but we also really wanted to get, as children of immigrants, and we have a lot of immigrants in our circle, and we know that a lot of people don't have the opportunity to see the world, and there are children, that really it's just not an option. Children facing long-term hospital care, children receiving cancer treatment, unimaginable situations for parents, children that are in under-resourced schools, shelters, foster care, and so I think we just realized, like Sofia said, we might not have funds to go to cancer research, but we have joy, right? Like we have a little bit of joy, and we could actually use the generosity of people that are purchasing these books and bringing them home to their families to share an adventure with someone who might need one for themselves right now. And so that was the entire premise behind buy a book, share an adventure. Every book, if it's being purchased for a library, a school, we donate a batch of copies.
So is Charlie Wags going to either Argentina or Greece anytime soon?
He is. We're formally not announcing any other works beyond 2026. We have some cover previews for next year's releases, but in 2027 he might be making some visits to some of our heritage countries that we come from, our family comes from, we still have connections to, and we are very excited to get there.
So you're leaving it a mystery where Charlie Wags is going next.
We can't
Okay.
keep up. Like some people are trying to keep up with the Kardashians, we're just trying to keep up with Charlie Wags. Like that's all we can do. So we'll let you know when we know.
Okay, when Charlie decides where he wants to head, you let us know. Now, if we want to know where Charlie Wags is in New York and where Charlie Wags is going in the future, where do we find Charlie Wags?
So you can purchase our books directly at www.charliewags.com. We have signed books available there, but Amazon is everyone's favorite, so we are available on Amazon Prime. And if you would like to keep up with Charlie himself, please follow us at The Tales of Charlie Wags on both Facebook and Instagram. Hopefully TikTok soon.
Yeah,
Who knows?
we can figure that one out.
We're figuring this out on our own, like you. We still call it the Google, so we're doing our best.
Thank you, ladies, for being here with us. This is a wonderful book. It's going to be a great series. I encourage, as someone who, again, was a young kid growing up in Kentucky, dreaming of what these places look like, these are excellent books to get for kids that want to dream about where they want to go and learn more about the world someday. Ladies, thank you for being
so
here.
much for having us.
2025, the American Library Association, Zoom into books with the wonderful Charlie Wags.